Isaiah 43 says, "Fear not. I've called you by name. You are mine. When you pass through the waters, I will be with you. When you pass through the rivers, they shall not overwhelm you. When you walk through the fire, it will not consume you. You will not be burned. For I am the Lord your God, the Holy One of Israel, your Savior." Now, if I'm real honest, there's parts of this I don't like. I don't like that it says, "when you pass through the water." I don't like that. I want it to say, "when you walk on top of the water," right? I don't like the part that says, "when you go through the fire." I want it to say, "I'm going to lead you around the fire," right? Like, it's going to get hot, not too hot. But that's not what it says here. It says, "when you walk through them, I will be with you in the midst." You know, Jesus' name is Emmanuel. That means God is with us. He's with us in the water, in the fire, in triumph and in tragedy. Even though tragedy has a way of calling that into question, right? I mean, tragedy hits, and no matter what we've read, we say, "God, I just don't think you're there," right? Like, where did you go? We just had a season of doubt like this. We went through a trial. I mean, our guitarist, Jeff, his sister-in-law, so his brother's wife, Ferris, she's 32, she's got 3 kids, and she gets diagnosed with stage 4 cancer this year. And they're saying, you know, she could go to England for this experimental treatment, that chemotherapy is going to be so intense, it's going to be at least a year. And we don't know how to process this. We kind of reel back and we say, "God, how could you let this happen? How could you let a bad thing happen to such a good person?" You ever been there? I was in the middle of kind of questioning God about this when I felt like God questioned me. I said, "God, why is this happening?" And he said, "Why do you call Good Friday Good Friday?" I said, "What? What do you mean? What's that got to do with anything, God? I'm asking you why bad things happen, and you're asking me why Good Friday is Good Friday? What are you talking about?" And he just repeats the question. He says, "Why do you call Good Friday Good Friday?" And I said, "'Cause that's what they call it at church. That's what they put on the calendar." And he said, "I just want to remind you that Good Friday wasn't the day when bad things happened to a good person. Good Friday is the day when the worst things happen to the best person. And you call that good. Maybe you call Good Friday Good Friday because you know what happens on Sunday. But don't forget, Good Friday was the worst Friday until Easter morning." So we wrote this song, "I Have This Hope," for Jeff's sister. And we wrote it for her so that when she started chemotherapy, she'd have these promises to listen to, right? And she loved the song. We sent her this demo. Well, fast forward 3 months, right? She's supposed to have chemo for 11 to 12 months, right? And 3 months later, we're in the studio about to record the album version of this song. And she says, "I gotta be there." So she shows up to the studio, you know, hair's all falling out, she's weak from the treatment, but she sits down on the couch. I'm not making this up. The day we're gonna hit record on this song, she sits down on the couch, and 5 minutes later, she gets a text from Vanderbilt Hospital saying her cancer is officially in remission. Boom. Mic drop. Now, I know not every story ends with a miracle like that. I want to be sensitive to this. But I also want to say that I believe that miracles are always possible. But I also want a faith that believes God's good even while I'm waiting on the miracle to happen. I want to believe that God is with me not only in my triumphs, but in my tragedies. In my tragedies, you know what I need to do? I need to look to the cross. And I need to listen to Jesus saying, my God, why have you forsaken me?" As if to say, even in my doubts, even in my questions, even there, Jesus is with me. So I have this hope now that Jesus is everywhere. I mean, He's enthroned in heaven, and He chased us all the way down into hell. So He's with us, always. There is not a place where we can go where He is not.
In the flood or the fire, you are with me and you won't let go.